Hello and welcome to The Studio Demands It, an exercise in creative thinking where we will challenge ourselves to conceptualize, pitch, and craft a film or series based on the demands and stipulations from one of you listeners acting as a hypothetical Hollywood overlord. Whew. We talk movies all the time.
All the time.
And as screenwriters ourselves and avid cinephiles, we'd like to believe that we can meet any demand thrown at us. We will be your screenwriters for this episode. What am I doing? Do you see this? I'm gesticulating like Bob Dole over here.
Yeah.
Millennials know what I'm talking about.
No, that's a Clinton. That's a Clinton. Bob Dole held a pencil.
That's right.
Because he had like a thing with his arm.
Yeah. It was like a war wound or something.
Yeah, and so to basically sort of mask that, he held a pencil.
Like a conductor. I'm over here doing like a tiny thumbs up, and I'm just like punching the air. Visual audio. We'll be your screenwriters for this episode. I am TCD Witt, and joining me, the voice you've heard over here, is Jim Blizzard in the Freezer Burzelic. You forgot there was you forgot you had a blizzard.
I did. I had forgotten my blizzard. It's delicious.
We'll hit up the movie theater, right? We go over to the movie theater near here, and there's a Dairy Queen.
Yep, right near the theater.
And Jim will get a big old blizzard.
Yeah, because it's delicious.
And then we'll forget he put it in the freezer.
Yeah.
And then a week later, I'll be like, "Oh, don't forget
blizzard.
you lit up when I reminded you."
And then I'll get really happy.
Oh, this night's now worth it.
Who wouldn't get happy knowing that they just have a blizzard waiting for them? It's wonderful.
That Dairy Queen, I don't know if I've ever been to an establishment where I have a very hard rule about how much patience I'm willing to have. Because we'll be walking towards that counter and if there's someone in line and they're not paying when we arrive, they got about 60 seconds before I'm like, forget it.
Well, it's because like most places you'll wait in line and you wait. I don't know if there's a specific amount of time, but there's a reasonable amount of time to wait.
Right.
On too many occasions, we've waited in that line way too long.
It'd be bad enough. It's bad enough when we go up there and there's just one person working the stand, and he is not acknowledging us, and it's always a he, and he's taking his time making the ice cream, like he's just as if he takes long enough, we'll walk away. And
the thing is, we
do. I just want him to kind of glance in my direction.
Oh yeah, no, but that'll keep you there.
That'll keep me there.
He does not want us to stay.
He does not.
So it's reverse. It's reverse chicken.
It's who's gonna blink first?
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then when there's been more one occasion where he finally is done with the order, he's delivered the thing, and then he'll just take a moment before he's like ready to address us, and he's like, "Hey, how can I help you?" I'm like, "Okay." He got me last time. We're like, "I'll have this. That's seasonal. We don't have it anymore."
Yep.
Ruined my night.
I actually didn't know that types of cookies, other than Girl Scout cookies, were seasonal.
Yeah. Why is carousel cookie, pink and white carousel cookie blizzard seasonal? Why is that a summer
Circus
thing?
Season's over.
Do.
Yeah. Going into the holidays, friend.
This episode is brought to you by Dairy Queen.
Turns out, yeah.
What's your go-to? What's your go-to blizzard?
We discussed it, a blizzard.
I know it's a blizzard, but what's your flavor?
It's usually...
This is what the people want to know, Jim.
It's important. I get the crushed Oreos, the cookies and cream, mix-in, along with, I always ask for peanut butter sauce.
Peanut butter sauce.
I've asked for peanut butter, and they get confused. Yeah. The term they use at Dairy Queen is peanut butter sauce, I don't think that's actually on the list of ingredients.
Do you know what is on the list of ingredients? Animal crackers.
What? But it's seasonal. It's
peanut butter sauce.
But because they use peanut butter sauce and other things, it is available.
Got it.
And so I say peanut butter sauce, and I get me my peanut butter sauce.
That's Oreo cookies, peanut butter sauce. Interesting. Share with the people your freaking Five Guys shake. That is a concoction.
It's the same thing, but with a couple other ingredients.
Bacon. You put bacon.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one you're wanting me to say is so Five Guys offers. First of all, I didn't come up with it. It's not my genius. Hey, what if you put a burger in my shake? It's on their list of possible ingredients to put into your shake. One of them is bacon.
I'm not shaming you for your choice.
And it is delicious.
Do you feel shamed?
Because mixing salt and sweet, salt enhances sweet flavors.
Right.
That's true. Putting bacon, which is a salty, delicious treat, crumbled into a shake
with salted
is
caramel.
delicious.
And,
I get the salted caramel.
banana.
Banana. I'll get peanut butter if I can. Sometimes they don't have it. Do I get Oreo in that one? I might. It's fine. And then bacon.
Well, it's another establishment that.
But yeah, that's another. We love Five Guys and we'll always go there. But they are the one we go to is terrible about making the shakes.
Yeah, like you put the order in, you get the whole spiel, we get our number called, and you have to remind them. I had a shake on this list. Oh, okay. And you can see the 3 or 4 that are always there, kind of like looking at you, like, who's gonna make this?
Who's
stupid
gonna make
shake?
the shake?
So we've just stopped. It's like a very rare. It's a very rare. Why are we talking about this?
I'm not sure. But you know what? I'm trying to think of a clever hashtag. Hashtag us about your shake woes.
My treat. No. Hashtag.
Hashtag.
This does not
shake
bode
time?
well for whatever our demand
No,
is. Can't even be.
This is a real stumble of an intro. I mean, I'm laughing, stumbling through this, but
We're having a good time.
hopefully you also relate to Dairy Queen and Five Guys woes.
Actually, we had the last Dairy Queen moment. The whole I couldn't get the one I wanted, and then you ordered first, and then he came over with mine first, and they deliver it to you upside down. That's the Blizzard, like the Blizzard whole thing is like, if we don't hand it to you upside down, you get your money back.
The thing is, so that's been like their ad campaign for like 20 years
Really?
for Blizzards, and I found out about it like a couple of years ago.
I've never heard of this.
It blows your mind every time.
I've never heard
It's
of
like
this.
your favorite part.
I've never. This is a Bernstein Bears situation.
It's a super old, like almost from. It's not from the beginning of when they had shakes, but it's.
You're looking it up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
The guy, Jim ordered first, then I went second. We had a whole spiel about what I had to order because they didn't have my freaking circus animals. He comes up, he sticks his arm out with the upside down Blizzard, and I look at it, impressed at the isometrics that he's doing in holding this Blizzard out before him, and I'm just waiting for Jim to take it until Jim goes, "Are you gonna take your Blizzard?" And I was like, "Oh, it's mine." And so he was there for way longer than he committed. He just stood there with that thing upside down,
waiting for someone to take it.
And color me impressed. That thing did not drip a 1.
So I knew it was old. It goes back to the treats debut, the desserts debut, 1985.
Shut up.
Yeah.
No way. Then someone owes me a lot of free Blizzards because I've never gotten a Blizzard delivered to me upside down until like 5 months ago.
Yeah.
What an opener, folks. Welcome to the show. You know what?
You're listening to Dairy Queen aficionados.
Dairy Queen aficionados. Today we're just going to do an episode about ice cream. It's an ice cream episode. People demand we come up with ice cream flavors.
Yep.
And bacon, peanut butter, banana, salted caramel.
Yeah. Delicious.
You know what? The demand we have today is pretty darn weird, so this might...
Okay, this is your transition.
So let's get to it. All right. So you listeners have given us a growing collection of demands from studios literally all over the world.
I hope... I don't know why I hope. It's actually cruel for me to hope this, but I'm imagining people listening, and for the last 5 minutes, they've been screaming at their device to stop talking about Dairy Queen.
Just get to the goddamn episode. These demands have been submitted over at studiodemandsit.com or on Twitter at studiodemandsit. You can send us any demand you'd like, and we will have to make something up right here on the spot with very little preparation. We pull this thing. I pull it. Jim doesn't even get to know what we're doing. As we've said many times, the listeners have more information than you right now.
It's true.
But thank you to everyone who is submitting. Keep it coming. We've also been getting a lot of comments and feedback on episodes, which is very validating.
Yes.
And that's the only way we survive.
I very much have been looking forward to it. Now I just need to read it.
Yeah.
Womp womp. I will do it. I promise.
Thank you, Jim. And thank you, listeners. But let's get to this demand. This is actually sweet and to the point, and we'll see what happens here. So this comes from Wes from Bucky Boy Studios. In the tradition of Clue,
I'm in.
the only good board game movie, what classic board game can you conceive a feature film adaptation for? Jim, we have to come up with not Battleship.
Okay.
Right? So that's the demand. The demand is a board game movie.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we've been getting here.
Yep.
Well, I want to say we are not going to remake Clue. Clue as it is
Yeah.
a damn perfect film.
It is.
Do not touch it.
Nope.
Do not do that. They'll probably do it. It will be a mistake.
Yep.
They'll probably get a cameo from Tim Curry.
Oh no.
Oh, what?
That would be a feat.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Didn't he die?
What? No.
Pretty sure he died.
Google it.
Oh crap.
But I did.
One of us is going to feel real bad.
I whatever. Don't remake Clue. We're not going to remake Clue. You demand us to remake Clue. We'll do it, but we're not going to do it right here. So I actually went to the Wikipedia for board films based on games. All right.
I feel really bad.
He's not dead.
Not yet.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I am a terrible person.
Films based on games. So we're taking video games out of this category. We're not adapting a video game to movie. That's a whole different conversation. In fact, we did a whole episode on it in season 1, and maybe we'll come back to it one day. But as far as films based on games, the list is very small. I bet you could guess most of them. Battleship. I'm not going to sit here and make you.
Battleship.
Yep. Ouija.
Oh yeah, I guess that counts, doesn't it?
It's from Parker Brothers or Milton Bradley, right?
Yeah. I've never looked into it. I have always thought the Ouija board is a truly like older mystical thing that Parker Brothers only just like, we're just gonna package it and do the bloop.
You know what's funny about
but now that I think about it, I don't know for sure that Ouija is actually that, and it might just be like a marketing thing. They like
just made.
Ooh, look at this old mystical thing.
Talk to the dead. There's an amazing stand-up comic, Flip Schultz.
Like atmosphere.
Flip Schultz, and he has this great bit about the Ouija board and people who think it's evil and how insane that is. Like there's someone standing in the assembly line at Parker Brothers just going, evil, evil,
Yep.
evil, and then like he gets bored every now and then, and a Monopoly game's going by, and he's like, evil.
That's a good bit.
That's a good bit. So Ouija, and then the Yin Yang Master. I do not know what that is. Ultramarines, a Warhammer 40,000 movie.
That counts. I don't know if that should count. Okay, once we start getting in there, then the movies start expanding a lot more.
Dungeons and Dragons would be but that's it. And I know Wikipedia is not the end all be all, but there's a category: video games, sure; role playing games, sure; game shows have been made into films, and then Dungeons and Dragons films has its own category. But yeah, as far as films based on games, there are 10 games in that category. Out of the 10 total, this list may not reflect recent changes. So the world is our oyster here, Jim. We could where to go here? I mean, like Battleship is decidedly a bad movie.
The demand was to turn a board game into a movie, right?
Yeah, the demand specifically is what classic board game.
Okay, then I'm going to get this one out of the way. I actually have been simmering on an idea. I actually have I want to make. I would love to make. I got 2 of them.
Go.
A movie out of the board game Kill Dr. Lucky.
Kill Dr. Lucky. Okay.
Kill Dr. Lucky was a game that was made originally by a company called Cheap Ass Games. They have since sold it, and I don't know who currently has it. But the premise of the game is, in that other board game, you start the game after someone's been murdered and you're trying to figure out who did it. That skips the fun part.
Let's actually kill Mr. Body, or Dr. Lucky in this case.
And so that game is about trying to get a strong enough weapon in a room alone with Dr. Lucky, who keeps moving around the mansion.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to get out of the eyesights of other players
to get away with murder.
So they're in different rooms, to try to kill Dr. Lucky, and then you play your murder card, and everyone has cards in their hands that are they do it with points, but essentially counter those kills.
Yeah.
So Dr. Lucky luckily escapes whatever weird murder thing you try to do to him to kill him, and that's the game.
That is it's Titanic Games owns them now.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
it's a wonderful game, and they made a sequel called Save Dr. Lucky. It takes place on the Titanic while it's sinking.
Oh wow!
So after a number of phases or rounds, levels of the ship will go away, and the reason it's Save Dr. Lucky is you don't like him and you want to kill him. However, clearly, lots of people are going to die here, so if he dies in the sinking of the Titanic, it's going to kind of be buried amongst all the other deaths, so it's not really worth it. But if you save him, that's a lot of recognition. You're the one who saved this jerk.
So that's our sequel movie, or that's
well, in my idea for Kill Dr. Lucky was I wanted to make a movie. I kept imagining it with contemporary comedians.
Mm-hmm.
Because one time I sat and I played the game and I gave voice to Dr. Lucky because he's just this non-player character who moves around the board at a normal rate. But between rounds, I would give him a voice, and he was this very bad British accent, just a complete jerk.
Yeah. He deserves it.
I can't. Can I even think? It was this sort of
sort of accent.
Sort of like that. Yes, he was like a cross. Like imagine a British Jiminy Glick.
Very interesting.
And everything he said, he would never acknowledge. He never noticed that people were trying to kill him.
Mr. Magoo over here.
But like every time something would happen, he would remark as to what the person was doing and how it was foolish and dumb, and he has no time for them, and so he would move on. And it was like he was infuriating, so everyone wanted to see, like, not just from the premise of the game, but like in the game, like everyone was getting mad at Dr. Lucky, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And at this point, people everyone I had dreamcasted, and we don't normally do that on the show, but I dreamcasted
from time to time,
like a bunch of people, and I wanted John Cleese to be Dr. Lucky.
Oh wow. I mean, that,
which I guess he's not that old.
No, but yeah, he's up there. The idea of a group of idiots getting together to murder a guy and get away with it in this style, it reminds me of Hide and Seek. We saw that together. The bride who goes, yeah. That sort of dark, bloody fun in a mansion. Like that's fun. Like there's some dark fun to be had in there. That's the sort of
one of the weapons. Probably the one I remember the most is a very tight hat.
So if Kill Dr. Lucky was to be adapted, I mean the premise works right there. It's just like let's murder this guy and get away with it.
It's a comedy verse. Well, and that's the other part of it is no one else knows that you want to kill him, so the idea is you want to murder him. It's not a group thing. It's not like everyone's like, you go over there and we're gonna get him. It's they all want to be the one to kill him, right? And so they're trying to prevent anyone else from doing it.
This sounds like a farce. And, like Knives Out would be the closest equivalent I could think of to the murder mystery whodunit, as opposed to a whodunit. It's like who will do it, kind of the spin on that. That could be fun. That could be a lot of fun. There's actually a bunch of spin-off games to this. So Kill Dr. Lucky, Craig Drock, An Accessory to Murder, Save Dr. Lucky, Save Dr. Lucky, Moonbase, Copernicus, Dr. Lucky, The Director's Cut, Kill Dr. Lucky Online, The Ambivalence Pack, Kill Dr. Lucky and His Little Dog 2, The Secret Lair of Dr. Lucky, Get Lucky, Dr. Lucky's Mansion That Is Haunted. That's the name of it. Dr. Lucky's Mansion That Is Haunted.
Nice.
Button Men, The Dr. Lucky Murders is the final expansion.
Button Men is a fun game. It's a whole different thing, though.
So there you go. So Kill Dr. Lucky is a fun... I'll just make a note of it. I don't quite think you got...
This isn't a classic.
You just said you wanted to get it out of the way.
And there's another one I wanted to mention.
Oh, you did have it? Yeah, okay. What else you got?
Betrayal at House on the Hill. Okay. It's a haunted house board game, everyone starts as sort of like the 5 characters are your horror movie archetypes. There's a scientist or priest.
Yes.
There's a jock character. There's the smart girl character. There's the little kid character, and
I remember
there's
this
the
game.
psychic character.
Yeah. I just looked up the box here. I remember you brought this over. That you have introduced me to this game.
As you explore the mansion, you lay tiles, so the mansion is always different every time you play. But after you lay a number of omen tiles and roll dice to see if the haunt happens, eventually it does. And one of the players, so everyone starts by, we're all working together, but then the haunt starts, and someone randomly determined is the betrayer. And depending on the card, the tile that was laid when it all happens, randomly determines what the betrayal is. And there's a booklet of 50 different betrayals, 50 different scenarios that can happen. And they're all wonderfully themed. Like some are like I once played one where we all got turned into dolls, and we had to get turned back before the betrayer like collected all of us and put them in their menagerie. I played one where I was the betrayer. I was the little kid, and my whole goal was to murder everyone. I forget exactly why. Like, I don't even remember why.
I don't want to go to bed.
I just remember the combination of things I had. Like, I had the Spear of Longinus and a haunted suit of armor, so I thought, I'm good to go.
Let's do this.
And then one of the other characters had found a loyal Frankenstein monster.
I remember werewolves
that
in
just
one I
killed
played.
Me.
Yeah.
So
it's funny that you picked another mansion murder mystery kind of thing. But I think Betrayal at House on the Hill has a little bit of Cabin in the Woods feel to it.
It does.
And that would be a cool like anthology series that it's
My idea though was, so the only movie at the time that I was able to compare it to of all the movies was Cube 2 Hypercube. But now
that classic movie.
But now the MCU has done a good job of establishing and making easy to understand the multiverse.
Sure.
And that's exactly what this would play into. Basically, because the way the board game works is you never know who the betrayer is going to be. It can always be someone different. Once they enter the haunted house, in my movie of this, they would start like splitting up and trying to figure things out, and they'd start running into each other again. But like they wouldn't remember things. Like, hey, you remember this? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And like suddenly
multiversing.
Basically many versions of themselves have entered into this mansion, and they're all killing each other, right? And so, like, at one moment, they're like, "Oh, Dr. Thompson! Oh, thank God I found you!" Biff is trying to kill everyone. He's like, "Oh, that would be terrible. Please give me your blood, and that will save you." Dr. Thompson, what's going on?
What are you doing, Dr. Thompson?
And then don't talk to him. I'm the real Dr. Thompson. And like it would get crazy, multiversal like that.
I feel like that would verge more into horror, less comedy territory.
It's a horror game.
Whereas like Kill Dr. Lucky would be
that's very
funny.
much a comedy game.
So those are your two you want to just knock out. I think Kill Dr. Lucky has a whole bunch of potential to be like that would make a cool movie.
Yeah.
Just like, especially if you fill it with like really competent comedic actors. It could be a Jason Bateman movie, right? or like
Sure, yeah.
I'm imagining like Horrible Bosses, which is sort of the same vein. They're trying to kill their bosses. So maybe that's why my head went to Charlie Day and Sudeikis and Bateman trying to.
Sure.
But going to classic board games, right?
Yeah.
Like, so doing a quick Google search of classic board games, this is what comes up. Scrabble. Monopoly. I think there is a Monopoly movie in the works.
Sort of. I don't know how much of it was real and how much was like a joke. I remember back when like Battleship got greenlit.
Yeah.
There was a purported like one sheet pitch that Ridley Scott was attached to.
Oh God, no! Come on.
For Monopoly, and yeah, it likely wasn't real.
No. What is Cluedo?
Cluedo's Clue.
Right.
Cluedo is what it's called in Britain.
Oh, okay. My VPN must be Risk. So just a war movie.
Yeah.
Right.
But like with dice.
Ooh, yeah. Droughts. Is that just checkers?
Draughts.
Draughts. Draughts.
I think it's pronounced draughts.
Draughts? I don't even know that. It just looks like checkers to me.
Draft. No, I think it's drafts.
It's checkers. I'm looking at the board. That's checkers.
Probably.
Oh, Catan.
I think your VPN is changing all the names.
Trivial Pursuit. Connect 4. Backgammon, which is the oldest board game. It's the oldest board game.
Older than Go?
It's older than Go. Battleship.
Is it older than the 3 stick dice that they played in the 10 Commandments?
I don't know.
Am I the only one who remembers that?
Candyland. I'm surprised Candyland was a movie.
I knew you were going to get there. I think that. So I believe that would be the first one I would pick.
Candyland. I feel like there was an animated Candyland movie. Maybe it was just like a tie into the board game itself. But I seem to remember a Candyland game. I should just look it up. But I think the closest equivalent we've gotten to Candyland is Wreck-It Ralph, where it's the racing through.
Vanellope's
world. I love.
It's still a video game though. That's not a board game.
Yeah, you're right. My favorite joke in that movie, if I may, is when they're running away from Ralph. It's King Candy and his guards, Duncan and I can't remember the other donuts. And they're running away, and Ralph nearly runs him over, and sir, are you okay? And King Candy goes, yeah, you just glazed me. Battleship, Sorry, Jenga, Pictionary, Trouble, Yahtzee, Boggle, Guess Who, Operation, Parcheesi, Twister, Chutes and Ladders, Mousetrap. Mousetrap, there might be something in that. Hey, look, Go.
Oh, there's was that a Saturday Night Live short?
Mousetrap?
I swear I've seen someone made a movie trailer for Mousetrap the movie.
Mousetrap the movie.
You're gonna get caught.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, then I'm getting into some newer stuff bananagrams and apples to apples. Those, and one might argue, oh, apples to apples, that's classic. But looking at those classic ones, Risk, Mousetrap, Operation, Guess Who. Man, this is a very strange ask, but. Yeah, Candyland offers it up to it's an entire universe. There are already characters built into it, and then it's just exploring that. Right? That could be a kids movie, but unfortunately, kids movies of this caliber would give us Emoji Movie or Angry Birds. I don't think we're gonna come up with anything that we'd be proud to make. DreamWorks and Illumination would love a Candyland movie. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'd be proud to make a DreamWorks.
Well, I mean, you pitch a cool Candyland movie to me. Come on.
Well, I'm trying to. I remembered another movie, and I wanna get it right.
Dead air, Jim. Dead air. We can't just sit here look at.
I know.
I gotta.
You were vamping so well.
You're the vamping.
There we
guy.
go. I kept thinking monster. It's called Animal World. There's a Korean movie called Animal World that is based around. It's not a game you can buy in the store. Paper, rock, scissors.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Go on.
People who are to those who've watched Squid Game at this point, it may sound familiar because it's about people who get contacted by this exclusive organization who is willing to take on people, willing to basically bet their lives to win large amounts of money. Or in this movie, I think they're in debt. Is what they are.
Very Squid Game.
Yeah, they're in debt to some nefarious people who basically abduct them, and in Animal World, they put them on basically a big ship, and this is all happening on a giant ship out at sea, where they are given 10 cards. 10 cards. It might have only been 9, 12, somewhere around there. I think it was divisible by 3.
I'm taking your word for it.
It wouldn't be 10, so it's 9 or 12.
Right.
And each card has rock, paper, scissors. They got the hand making the rock, paper, scissors symbol. And they do that so that way you don't have to actually throw. Instead, you put out a card and you flip it. And the goal is to get 15 points so that you get to move to the winner's circle. And anyone who doesn't gets put into the loser's box, which is going to be bad for them.
It's the boo box.
Yeah. And there's cameras watching, and there's rich people watching through the cameras.
Wow, this is
making bets.
This is Squid Game. You've just described Squid Game on a boat.
But it's just the one game, and you watch this guy make alliances with other people and do all of this math about the odds of like, okay, if they have this many cards left, this is happening, and I only have this. And betrayals happen, and I actually thought it was really clever. There's. I believe there's supposed to be a sequel or eventually a sequel. It's a Korean movie with Michael Douglas in it.
Really?
Michael Douglas is the big villain.
What is this called?
Running the whole
Animal?
thing. Animal World.
Now that you said Michael Douglas.
And there's one weird part of it, and it's all over the trailer, is there's like this clown who has katanas and he chops up monsters. And what that is apparently the main character
it's on
is
Netflix.
like a little part sociopath, psychopath, and he imagines himself as this comic book character ninja clown, and he imagines the people he doesn't like in the world as these monsters that he chops up. But he doesn't actually chop them up. He just imagines himself doing it. And then he gets put on the ship, and like it never comes up. It's never like a part of the like, oh, this is my imaginary world, and now I'm in debt, and I got to go on this ship, and I got to win this contest with math. And then I got off, and now I'm imagining myself as the clown, and these gangsters sure are guys I don't like.
This is on Netflix right now. It came out in
that's where I watched
2018.
it. I liked it a bunch.
That's crazy. Animal World. Yeah, Michael Douglas.
As far as a movie based on, it's like, it's not a board game, but it's sort of like a classic game. A classic game.
I mean, you get much more classic than rock, paper, scissors.
Ooh, I might consider the movie Pi to be a movie based on Go.
Sure.
Sorry.
I'll allow it.
I keep sort of like tangenting away from our goal.
It's what the people come here for, Jim. Like, I honestly, bringing up Squid Game is a real. It's I can't believe it didn't come up sooner.
Sure.
In this idea of taking classic games and somehow creating a movie or series around it, because that's like Squid Game is doing red light, green light, and some traditional Korean games
like
playground
recess
games.
Playground games.
Yeah. And you watched Squid Game. I watched it as well. I'd be fine if it's just one season.
The American version would be Foursquare.
Foursquare. Ugh.
No
atomic bombs.
That was
Cat's Corner. Double bouncers.
Only big bounce.
Only big bounce. Like, you get in that A box and suddenly you could just make up rules.
Yep.
I bet there are plenty of people out there, back when people played Foursquare, who didn't have any clue how that game was actually supposed to be played, because it just came this ridiculous game of like, this one's called, I don't do atomic bombs, I do nukes, and nukes you have to hit someone in the feet in order for it to work, and then you have to jump when it happens. Like,
oh god, no, I'm having flashbacks. We had baby bounce. And that was always the one like you would try to outlaw that.
No baby bounces.
Because literally that was always the trick, because you think they're going to go big because they're the big strong kid on the playground, and so you back up to the far end of your square, and then they quick go. They take like 3 steps forward. They go baby bounce, and bounce it right, and you're like, oh, you bunted. That was a bunt. Boo.
So doing any sort of game that elicits death, like Kill Dr. Lucky, that premise lends itself to it's not comparable to Squid Game. But now thinking
it's the reverse, right? The game is about this premise, and that's what the movie would be about.
Right.
Whereas now what we're talking about the game being the conflict.
Right. Right. And
people like it is a part of the movie that this is a game we are playing with life on the line.
Right.
Which is different.
Like thinking of taking any one of these games to make it something like War Games, the 80s movie with Matthew Broderick, where he plays chess against a computer and he has to win. And if he fails, then he's playing war games on his computer. And if he loses,
it is a video game that he plays, and then
he's essentially playing Risk with nukes.
Yeah,
and if he fails, a computer will actually nuke the planet.
So he teaches it tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, against itself.
Yeah,
yeah. So taking any one of these games and just saying, this is the game they're playing, but they're playing for these stakes, I don't feel is in the tradition of what's being asked here. Because Clue, it's the premise of the game brought to life.
Well,
Right.
with a bunch of the games we said, I would be interested in any pitches to make those interesting, like life or death. Sorry, right? Like,
Don't you remember the commercial was the people dressed up in the big? They were the meeples.
I do remember that.
Like to take the game of Risk, and okay, I'm going to pitch a Risk idea for you. That it's sort of Knights of the Round Table. Knights of the Dinner Table style, where you see them.
Those
playing,
are two different things.
It's Knights of the Dinner Table. The nerds who are playing the role playing game.
Yeah, Knights of the Round is King Arthur and his court.
The Knights of the Dinner Table. So people playing Risk, where
they're playing the game, and then like you do like a
go
zoom in
in
or like a fade or a dissolve or something to
and then
the world of the game,
and you have this very like Ridley Scott's last duel level of production value of people out there playing like Napoleonic War fights that are being almost, I guess, like drunk history style, where like when the arguments at the table like come into the game, and you have like Idris Elba, but he's like yelling like a little kid, like, "No, you can't do that. The dice hit the ground. You have to roll again. Send those horses back. And send those horses
suddenly like a 800-foot tall cat comes stomping through the battlefield."
Yeah, something like that. Like to do, or I mean, you could do the tabletop is real life, and the game itself is animated, and going between the two like that. There could be something fun to be had in that scenario. Oh, it's not actually a board game made into a movie in reality, but a fake board game made into a Jumanji.
Is about a board game, and its sister movie
Zathura, also a board game.
Yeah,
I call it Tumanji.
I mean, technically,
that's not me.
I've actually thought a bunch about different movies about games, like especially supernatural games. Technically, that's what a major element of the Hellraiser movies is a puzzle box.
Oh, sure.
It's basically Rubik's Cube. Rubik's Cube from Hell, the movie.
Rubik's Cube from Hell. Well, there's a pitch for a Risk movie to take the reality of the tabletop scenario going on and then going into the game. Or I mean, you could probably do something similar with like Monopoly. If there's the cliche arguments that take place in Monopoly where someone's stealing money from the bank, and like people are doing house rules versus real rules, and then going into the game and seeing people on on streets. You get the boardwalk, which is like the affluent, nice hotel people, like the rich, expensive part of town, which is right around the corner from the cheap part of town. Like,
I think for Monopoly, what I would do is I would rather than like doing like a zooming into the game type thing, or making the game like we're playing for real dollars, and if you go bankrupt, you lose your blood, or something.
Straight to horror with you.
Life and death, whatever. That's I think where I might go instead is somebody gets like inducted into like a very exclusive club where they are given a loan, if you will, and they end up playing quote unquote real life Monopoly, Brewster's Millions style.
Okay, sort of Trading Places, Brewster's Millions style.
Yeah,
like where it's a game to the people.
Yeah, to the people doing it. And the main character we're following is totally new to all of this. Yeah. And at first, they're just wowed by everything.
But then they realize, wait a minute. These are real houses. These are real apartments and real neighborhoods that I've been playing with.
Yep.
You Enders gamed me.
I don't know if I'd go. I'd want to do like. It wouldn't be I wouldn't do it as a twist.
Do like the
so
Act 1 into Act 2.
He's overwhelmed, and at first he tries spending his money in an equitable way. Like, I want to help people, and like he starts losing, and he realizes that he's losing badly by trying to help people. And so there's this, I guess that'd be the first act, and then, or it'd be 5 acts. So one would be getting into the world. 2 would be, I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be nice. Yeah. And it's messing everything up. And then, I'm not going to try breaking. I'm going to stop trying to break it down into acts.
Just keep going.
And then what they would do is they'd be like, no, well, I don't want to get eliminated. So then they would start becoming like all the other players and just trying to gobble up money and not caring about the people's lives that they're actually affecting.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'd get to a certain place and then they would see what they've done and sort of become. And then they would turn again and they'd figure out how to basically use the game to help people. Well,
I think I like where you're at here. I think that's a great journey for a character to be.
But like in a part of the game is like the player, they don't have homes that they go to. They literally travel from the locations of Monopoly, and they have to like live there for a week or whatever. And that's why they do things like, I bought up this entire block and.
I get the trust of this community to let me build a hotel here, like they're crushing.
And that's the thing. Not even trust. I just did it.
Yeah,
because I got the money to do it. I just did it.
Well, this is what I would suggest for like. Okay, I like this that it's someone who's brought into this world. They're completely oblivious to the harm of, because Monopoly was meant to be a cautionary game. It was meant to show the fallacies of capitalism. And funny enough, the game was stolen from the woman who created it.
Yep.
Yeah, Monopoly. And first going all in on it, realizing that they're not just playing this game, that what they thought was all fun and games, they're actually seeing the reality of, like, if it's presented to this person like, oh, come into our Monopoly room. We play Monopoly in this giant, this big room, like a giant board with like moving pieces. Like, Jeeves, put a hotel there, right? And not realizing at first, like just thinking, oh, this is a game these rich people are playing. And then the revelation of like, oh, wait, these are real neighborhoods? This represents actual neighborhoods?
Oh, no, see, I wanted to go one layer deeper. Immediately, it does represent real neighborhoods. And so this guy who's been given this unreal size loan, like billions of dollars,
right,
tries spending it equitably, tries like, oh, I've landed on one of the early places. I'm going to build this neighborhood and I'm going to invest in it. And
well, my
I'm
twist
losing all
doesn't
this money.
Mine doesn't have to be a full twist that's like dun dun dun. It would just be the introduction of the game to be like, oh, that's fun. Well, do that. Ha, great. Go ahead, call up that Baltic Ave and tell them we're crushing the apartments to put in a hotel. And right then and there, like immediately learning that
sure.
So then he could be like, well, okay, if this is the club I'm in, this elite club I'm in, I'm going to be equitable. I'm going to figure out how to help people. And he'll fail miserably at it, right? But there's only one real way to end a game of Monopoly and win it. I think this should turn into a heist movie. Steal from the bank.
Because of the type of game player I am, that goes against everything I am.
So your character in the game, the main character would have to convince his buddy, who is an actual good Monopoly player, Jim, I'm telling you, Jim, we can't beat these people. They're cheating anyway. They have all these house rules we can't beat. The only way is to rob from the bank. Where'd you get those pink 50s? Jim's just shaking his head at the microphone. Okay, how you win you going to try to win Monopoly?
Yeah.
You want our main character to actually win Monopoly?
Yeah.
I don't know. I say rob the bank. Okay, fine. How about this? A failed heist, and then the one character who said, no, if we just play by the rules exactly as they're written, we can beat this game. So the one person who won't get in on it. So my main character trying to convince you to do a heist, I do a whole heist that doesn't work out in our favor and come back to you only to discover by following the rules and playing it right, you actually save the day. You don't like that either?
I'm too caught up.
You're just mad.
I'm going to be honest. I kind of zoned out there for a second.
You blacked out.
Yeah.
Should we take a break here?
No.
Okay.
No. I feel like. I think in the end of mine, he doesn't win Monopoly. He doesn't beat all of the gajillionaires.
Yeah, the Uncle Moneybags.
What ends up happening, it starts with him trying to be good to these
Mr. Monopoly,
to the people he's living to the people he's temporarily living with as this game goes on, as this giant game across the planet.
He's just fine with
goes on.
Mediterranean Ave.
Yeah, Well, sort of. He gets to globetrot. It's not really a global game. It's a national, whatever. So it starts with, I want to better these people's lives, and then he realizes he's losing the game, so he changes what he's doing to become good at Monopoly. So then, like, a couple players are eliminated. It's down to, like, I don't know, like 3 people left. He's one of them or something.
Yeah.
And then he gets around the board again. So he gets another $200.
Another $200 million.
Yeah. And so then he gets to see, like, he gets to go through and now to play the game, he's trampling people's lives. But he's starting to win. Like he's kind of lined up to win, and he sees it. He just has to, like, do these like, I just got to get this, and it's going to be great. And then he has a moment where he sees the people that are getting hurt by him winning this game, just competing with these other gajillionaires.
But I won a beauty contest.
And that's when he's like, wait a minute, I don't want to be that kind of person.
Right.
So he sort of goes back, and now he starts investing in the communities again. And what he starts noticing this time is, yes, the gajillionaires he's playing with are laughing at him, and they're taking his money for as the penalties in the game they're playing. But in the meantime, all the people that he's stopped trampling on and now helping, like, they're grateful to him. And so then when he's eliminated at the end, like, the lesson that ends up being learned is the gajillionaire that won the whole thing is like, haha, you were a fool. You could have done it, but you didn't. And I win. I win the game. And he's like, you sure did. And I go out penniless again. And he then goes to the neighborhoods that he helped build up, and they all welcome him in.
And happy.
And the lesson being, help your community and don't be a dragon.
What a liberal. Look at you
look
liberal
at me
over here.
Teaching people to share.
I suppose my suggestion of, like, making it a heist and all that, it turns into, what was that Eddie Murphy Tower Heist? It's the McG movie where it's like, we'll show these guys, we're going to steal his car.
What? I don't think it was McG.
Was it? Was it Ratner?
I think that was Ratner.
Ugh. Either way. All right. You have a very wholesome end to your story.
Right? Like, because like I said, Brewster's Millions, and I wanted even trading places. I wanted there to be a sort of like a nice listen. I don't need everything to be a horror movie.
Yeah.
Just 93% of all things should be horror.
What you've suggested would benefit from someone like Adam McKay making it. So Adam McKay, who did, like, Big Short, and he also did Anchorman. Like, he's got a good. I think he did Fun with Dick and Jane as well. He's very good at taking very, like, heavy social economic topics and making a enjoyable film from it. Like, taking something like your Monopoly premise and making it not a wacky comedy, not a horror movie, but sort of like
no horror at all. That's for Betrayal at House.
That's for Betrayal. Okay, yeah, I'm sold. I could see that being a very wholesome, like, nice movie. Like, there could be some fun in it.
I want Jack Black to be the main character.
Absolutely.
Because
always
that
Jack
way
Black.
you can reenact some of the chance and community chess cards where Mr. Moneybags is there, but imagine Jack Black like doing those poses.
And I want a beauty pageant. Yeah. Get out of jail free, girl.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm sold on your Monopoly movie. All right, let's take a break. Let's take a break here.
Oh, God, I just pitched a Monopoly movie.
We're going to take a quick break here. I want you to think of at least another one. I'm going to think of another one as well.
Okay.
Let's take a break here, and we'll be right back after this quick word from 6-5 Media. Boop.
Welcome to our new podcast. Welcome to our new podcast.
This isn't working.
Agreed. I think we're going to have to do it turn by turn.
Well, now that you mention it, we are a brand new RPG video game podcast.
Our very existence hinges on turn-based gaming.
So join us on the Turn by Turn podcast, where we'll be talking about
Pokemon, Fire Emblem, Golden Sun, Shining Force, Mother, and so many more.
It's your turn to come and join us.
Jake, have you ever been looking for a definitive Nintendo ranking and can't seem to find it because it's just everybody's own opinion?
Honestly, all the time, Sam.
Well, I'm looking for someone to give us the answers.
Wait, you mean like a podcast made by two young, handsome men where they create a definitive top 5 list of all things Nintendo?
Should we just do it ourselves?
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Let's give it a shot. I'm Sam.
And I'm Jake.
And at Top 5 Nintendo, I'm going to give you my top 5 list.
And I'm going to give you my top 5 list.
And then we're going to duke it out and see what the real top 5 is.
He pitched a Monopoly movie.
I did. And so did you, and I was rude about yours.
You were very rude. No. We've had at least 3 things in this episode where I'm like, we need cameras rolling on this. My gesticulating with my thumb at the beginning, I like saw myself doing it.
And
like,
me just silently shaking my head for like a minute straight.
If you're going to be shaking your head, you have to do it near the microphone. Like, so your beard is...
Beard.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that registers.
It's picking up.
I have to.
Great, don't. Yes, we can hear your beard.
Yeah.
So now the subscribers...
Loud beard. Yeah.
When they hear this... That's Jim disagreeing with me, silently protesting any idea I'm throwing at him. What's that, Jim? There's another classic board game we didn't name?
Board game we didn't name.
What's that?
It probably would end up being pretty close to Monopoly or whatever. Life. The game of life.
Funny enough, it is up here. I just breezed past it. Man, I don't even know what the game of life looks like anymore. Because the game, I had it when we were younger. I can picture it. I know what the wheel looks like. Like, you get the little car and the meeples that you put in it. You can decide to go to college or skip college. I bet they've evolved that game to be more modern than, getting points for having kids at the end of the game.
I doubt it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Game of life. Get a life. That would be like a road trip movie, right?
Like a vacation movie, one of the National Lampoon's vacation movies.
I don't know. Are they in some sort of time warp where their life is in the car every time they travel to the next destination? Years have passed, right? So that they're trying to get to the end. Yeah. Okay. So it's the game of life as a movie. And it's some sort of road trip movie. There's some sci-fi element that's causing, in the car, everything. Every time they advance down the road, they age more. It's old. It's old in a car.
Yep. Oh, no.
What a twist. But then I'm like, okay, if that's the premise, why do they keep going forward? What's the final destination? How do you fix this?
Well, you introduce a click-like element where something has happened where they cannot go back.
No, I hate it already. I hate that movie. He literally falls asleep, so without a shadow of a doubt that this whole movie's about to be a dream. He just lays down in Bed Bath & Beyond with his stupid remote and closes his eyes.
No, but it's a magic remote.
It's so stupid. I hate that movie.
And
it's the laziest. It's one of those things where whenever I hear people talk about Click, what did I see? I was watching some time loop movie and someone referenced Click. I'm like, it's this movie's like Click but bad. And I wait, that's implying Click is good. Yeah, Click's good. I cry in Click. I'm like, I can't talk to you anymore.
Yeah, it's sad because he's all like, oh, I missed all the things I didn't want to miss, because I was fast forwarding to get to the parts where I didn't have to work anymore. But while I was working,
no, I'm done talking about Adam Sandler movies.
I was going to be neglectful of my family, and I miss being neglectful. I wish
you had made the movie. I wish that was the character in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sad. I miss my family. Shut up.
Wasn't that the movie?
No. It's Adam Sandler being lazy.
It's Adam Sandler going, I'm married to Kate Beckinsale.
Oh, what a lucky
and why
bastard.
did I skip this life?
Why did I skip this life? I'd never leave home. Did you think of another game? I think I have one.
No, Life was the one I thought of. I don't have a pitch for it either. Okay. I'm just trying to think of games at this point.
Okay. Here's another sort of sci-fi thriller horror type scenario. Good. Okay. Pocket it.
Yep.
Taboo. Mm-hmm. In Taboo, there are words you can't say, right?
Uh-huh.
And in a Squid Game type fashion, it could some sort of curse or situation where
you'd make it magical.
It's a curse. Like it's
okay,
it's a gypsy curse where like you. I don't quite know where to go with this yet, but like basically you can't say certain words. Like you're either incapable of saying certain words, or if you say them, there's consequences type thing.
Yeah.
Because like in Taboo, you have to say, you know, a president, and like you can't say.
You're trying to get me to say president, but you can't say
Obama, White House, Washington D.C., like all those things. So like either I'm incapable of saying those words, or like, oh, let's go like crank style.
When you do say them, yeah, something happens.
Like crank style, where like there's just
where
like
you get shocked.
You have like a shock collar on you, or like shock bracelets and necklace.
So it's a little bit Saw.
A little. I don't want to. I'd rather go towards the kinetic insanity of something like Crank than.
Oh, right, because in Taboo you're trying to go as fast as you can.
Instead of the torture porn that is Saw.
Gotcha.
Right? Which Saw has ticking clock elements as well, but having someone who is either gypsy cursed or has some sort of like device strapped to them, and there's a ticking clock scenario where they need to accomplish something, but they're incapable of saying certain things, right?
Okay.
Kumail Nanjiani stars in it. Say, oh God, like he just keeps getting zapped. There's an Eddie Murphy movie from the mid 2000s called like 10,000 Words or something like that, where he only it's some sort of liar derivative, where he only has 10,000 words left to say before he will never have his voice again. Something like that. There could be some fun to be had then, right?
It could be, yeah.
Taboo, the short film, I could make that work.
Yeah.
Right? Just, tell your boss why you can't do the presentation, but you can't say these words.
Squid Game, but with Trivial Pursuit. So it's literally your life is on the line for knowing the most inconsequential things.
Who was the 7th Vice President of the United States?
Beep, 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 beep. Anyone? Oh God.
So Taboo. That's that throwing a Taboo game out there. As a movie, I don't know. Like Taboo, in its definition, are words that are inappropriate to say.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Taboo, the game, it's not that. Like if someone took. Not apples to apples. What's the
Cards Against
Humanity with Taboo, where you're trying to get someone to say like nipple, but you can't say certain things, And I picked a very chaste word.
Yeah,
we could get graphic here. Like you need to get someone to say like the C word.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Collateral.
Yes, collateral. Country boy.
Yep.
I think of something like Panic Room. Right?
Yeah.
Like that is taking the very, innocent idea of like, oh, try to escape this. Not a panic room, escape room.
Oh, yeah.
Try to escape this room. It's themed after medieval times.
Yeah.
And then adding the or you'll die.
Or you'll die.
Yeah.
Right. Really, that might make a fun title of a game. Scrabble or you die.
Scrabble or you die. What the hell is Scrabble or you die? I'm in. You got me on the title.
It's literally people are like chained around a table and they have to play Scrabble.
What am I supposed to do with a Q and an X? Shit.
Play or you die.
Play Scrabble or you die. What if I
do I have to win or do I just have to play?
You just have to play. All right. I'm gonna lay. Okay. All right, buddy. Listen.
Quidgy-bo.
We're both. It's the Simpsons. Right?
Yeah.
Look, we're both in trouble here. Okay, just don't challenge whatever word I lay on the board. Okay. I'm just gonna lay down all these vowels and just. Ooh-ah.
That's not a word. No! That's not a word.
It's Queen's Gambit, but with Scrabble.
With Scrabble. There you go. Yeah. And they just keep seeing words on the ceiling?
I guess. Ooh, that's just cheating. There's words.
That's just cheating.
Oh, man. You said Trivial Pursuit, Squid Game. That's
words with friends to death.
Scrabble or Die, Game of Life, Candyland. Okay, let's.
I thought I had another pitch.
Battleship. What we got for Battleship was just a Transformer knockoff. Mm-hmm. Is there a way to do
sound effects and all?
Is there? Do you remember how they beat the aliens in Battleship? Did you see it?
I did not see it. No.
They end up using like World War II veterans to fly like non-computer tech, like old World War II bombers.
Took over all that, which is why they needed to torpedo areas that they couldn't see just to check.
Yeah.
Okay.
But is there a better way to do Battleship? Because, like, honestly, they probably did the best they could. Is there I can't think off the top of my head right now on the spot. What's a better way to do
a period movie?
Okay. But then you're just doing Hunt for Red October.
Yeah,
or like
you're just making a
submarine movie,
a World War II sea battle movie,
and that sounds like a dad movie. Is Liam Neeson in it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Is he gonna punch somebody?
Likely.
Okay. All right. I guess
C6. Sir, we can't throw another torpedo.
I said C6.
Yeah.
Okay. Pictionary, right? Like only being able to communicate through like crudely.
Pictionary or die.
That's just the name of it. Trouble or die. Pictionary, Yahtzee or die.
Yeah.
Pictionary, only being able to communicate through crudely, like quickly drawn images. Having something that's like, I guess, kidnapping movie, another bank heist type movie. Like
I know I'm imagining a cliche, your standard kidnapping movie trailer, and then at the end, just Pictionary. Like
starring Colin Farrell.
Yeah, that's like a Funny or Die type sketch.
Ticket to Ride is another.
That's considered classic at this point?
I just Googled classic games and Ticket to Ride came up.
Okay.
But that could be like an around the world in 80s days. Around the world in 80s days. So
sort
everybody's
of. Yeah, because you could change it to like, oh, we're trying to ride certain trains. The game of Ticket to Ride is a lot more about like owning railroads and cutting off other people from owning railroads that reach other places.
Okay. So maybe I don't know.
But I guess the way to make it more fun, instead of it just being rail barons, you do something like there's a grand contest, and there's something like golden tickets out at different train stations, and so it's who's gonna
sort
gather
of
the most of
race,
them.
amazing race-esque, but a period piece.
Yeah, right. Like, oh, I'm racing you to Little Rock, and you're coming from this, and I'm going here, and we both get there, and the ticket there's already gone because someone got
it. Having like a Wild Bill or like a Buffalo Bill looking character and a very like a gentleman top hat British guy, and like having caricatures of the 19th century era be the competing rail barons or whoever's competing for this. It's I would say Rat Race, which I do not.
Well, no, this would be a lot more like Rat Race.
Yeah. But Rat Race is not good. If you want to watch that movie, watch Mad World.
There was a movie.
I'm railing a lot of movies in this episode. I'm like, Click's bad, Rat Race is bad, Battleship bad.
We've talked about Rat Race and how we don't like it. There are people out there who I don't know how or why love that movie. Don't get me wrong, Mr. Bean is great.
I love Mr. Bean.
There's a movie, and I know I mentioned it before, and I think we solved this riddle, and I've forgotten since. There's a movie that's the same premise as Mad World and Rat Race that came up between them, and I can't remember it.
Oh, jeez.
It sticks in my... Because there's... The thing I remember the most is there's two FBI agents that are trying to follow... Because literally, the dad from Happy Days, Mr. H...
Father Dowling.
Yeah. He dies at the beginning
Tom
of the
Bosley.
movie. Yeah. He dies at the beginning of the movie, and he's all like, I left my money, whoever finds it gets it. That's not the voice he uses. That's my voice imitating an old movie I can't remember. And everyone in this diner's all like, I'm going to get that money.
I'm going to get that money.
And two FBI, I think it's FBI agents. It might be some other federal alphabet soup agency guys are after it. And they stop this one family. Their car falls into basically toxic waste, and they get out, and these people are like, "Oh my God, that's toxic waste!"
Oh no!
And I forget the reason that these agents are like, they don't want to acknowledge that this is actually toxic waste, and so one guy goes, "No, it's not. It's perfectly fine. Watch."
Whoa.
And he dips his finger in it, and he licks his finger, and there's a moment where he's like, "See, all good," and then it pauses, and then he does like a weird freak out where he goes, and meanwhile in the background their car is like literally collapsing in on itself.
What are you? I'm searching. This is what I'm Googling, Jim.
Yeah.
Tom Bosley, FBI movie, toxic waste,
FBI,
money, $1 million mystery.
You found it?
I found it.
Thank you.
1987. A relentless chase for money is the result of a simple lunch at a remote diner.
Yep.
Tom Bosley.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't believe Tom Bosley, FBI, toxic waste money got me this movie.
So one of the groups of racers is this newlywed couple, and all they want to do is get to their honeymoon, but they also want this money.
Yeah.
So every stop they make, they're trying to have sex, but like something goes wrong. Either there's people watching, or like they left their car in neutral instead of parking, and so they're in the car and it starts rolling away, and all kinds of crazy
mad
antics
world.
like
It's
that.
a mad world.
Oh yeah,
this is
it
Rat Race. Mm-hmm. Why aren't there more of these movies? Yeah, I mean, literally inspired by It's a Mad world.
Listen to our Cannonball Run episode. I think that kind of answers.
There you go.
Why.
So
is that our? That's not our first. We don't do many callbacks.
That's a callback.
That's a callback.
That's a callback. Go listen to Cannonball Run. So Ticket to Ride.
Ticket to Ride. Yeah, I would do Ticket to Ride kind of like that.
As like a period piece, Mad World, Rat Race, mystery. What did I say? Mystery.
See, already forgot. It's,
$1 million mystery.
Yeah.
I want to watch $1 Million Mystery now.
Yeah,
it's probably terrible. It's from 1987. It can't possibly be good.
I saw it on probably Comedy Central or who knows, TNT.
Tom Bosley, ladies and gentlemen. Good pull from Jim. Okay. Operation?
That's what I had pocketed that and I forgot it.
Okay,
that was the one. Yeah.
Operation. Okay, go.
I was just trying to think of board games. Crap. Okay, what would I to make the movie Operation?
Wait, I got it.
The first place I go is make a movie kind of like Fantastic Journey.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't think that's as
like injecting someone into a human body.
Something like that.
I got it.
What if instead?
Oh, I got it. I got an idea.
What if instead the whole movie that begins, you don't even know how, but this dude gets rushed in to the emergency room.
We need an operation.
He's had just so many insane things happen to his body. And, so a bunch of surgeons have to come in all at once. So they're all operating him, operating on him at the same time. And as they like do this really complicated surgery and they like pull a thing out and they're like, how did this item get in this man's body?
Here?
Like you do a flashback to a weird
I'm going to go off this
antic scene.
How did he get this in here? Right. One better. I'm going to take that. I'm going to switch it a little bit.
Yep.
Competitive surgeons in the vein of Talladega Nights.
Ooh. All right.
Who take on the most insane operations and are like cocky Top Gun, like I'm the
Top
best
Gun, but with surgery.
Top Gun surgery.
Top Gun with. I don't even know if that's actually. I don't know if that's I don't know if that would actually be Operation the game, the movie. But I want to see Top Gun, but surgeons.
It's just hotshot surgeons who like
ride motorcycles.
Yeah, they're cool guys over here.
Have volleyball, beach volleyball matches.
Oh yeah, all in. They are just like the coolest dudes, and they only take on the most insane. Like, we got a guy here with a funny bone, with a funny bone operation. I'll take it. Yeah, and they're just like the Rock, like Anchorman, Talladega Nights level of ridiculous.
I'm in.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. There's your movie. Who is
That's
it? Wes.
Operation.
There's your movie, Wes. Operation the movie. It's Top Gun, but surgeons. We did it. I think that's it. Mancala.
We didn't do anything with Trouble,
Trouble. Mancala.
with the Pop-O-Matic bubble.
What the hell would you do with a? Guess who would also be another one. What are you gonna do with Trouble? Okay. I'll go with Trouble if it's like space sci-fi, like space station orbiting the planet.
Yeah, okay. I like right. You go retro future with you make a bubble station and you're these the characters
Pods or
are
whatever.
like competing to like do things outside of the station so they can get back in.
Yeah. Or we
something.
we rip off Alien.
Yeah.
It's just honest.
The Pop-O-Matic bubble.
We gotta get to the mill. We gotta get to the Pop-O-Matic bubble.
And then what's the other game? The timer game where you got to put all the shapes in before it pops.
Put the pieces into the slot. Make the right connection.
Yeah.
But be quick, you're racing the clock. Pop goes perfection.
Yeah.
Listen, Jim.
Now I'm thinking Connect 4.
We're having a good time here. Hey, get off my back.
I'm just naming games at this point.
We're having a good time here, but there are legitimate rooms where conversations are being had like this without
Where people are having the same conversation but not laughing.
not laughing. That they are like, listen, we've got Boggle. What can we do with the IP of Boggle? I don't know, sir. I'm stumped. Well, Chinese checkers. What can we do with that? Well, it's a little racist. We probably shouldn't make a movie about that. What other IP we got?
Chess.
Chess.
Well,
Chess.
that's Queen's Gambit. Actually,
Queen's
you can
Gambit.
make lots of things with chess.
Backgammon. Connect 4.
Go fish.
I was taking notes about what games we were coming with, but I stopped doing that. So now I'm like, go fish, get out of here. Okay, let's back up here. Let's recap. What did we pitch here that could legitimately be developed?
I actually think the Monopoly one wasn't too bad.
I think so too. I think Monopoly one was. I think Operation is my favorite.
Operation. I think Operation would be fun in an FP kind of way.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you give it to Will Ferrell, like I'm talking that level of production where you get John C. Reilly in there, and you take it as seriously as Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Risk. We had like going into the game and seeing it, like that's Jumanji-esque, I suppose.
Yeah.
Candyland. Like we didn't really talk much about Candyland.
No, we didn't.
But,
Candyland would be right. Okay, let's do that one really quick. I know the newer versions of it have done different things with the little characters you play, but in the version I grew up with, they were all different colored gingerbread men.
Yes.
So the story I would do would be something like a bunch of kids get transported to this land where they're turned into little gingerbread men, and they have to get to the candy castle to get changed back and return to their world before a thing happens. I'm not sure what that would be, and they get to run into all the different Candyland characters, and they get helped by them or hindered by them.
I see that would make a good kids movie. Like,
it would definitely be a kids movie.
But
Next demand is Candyland, but R-rated.
Ooh, sexy Candyland. Ooh. What else do we have? We have Risk, Monopoly. I think Monopoly was
Mr. Bucket, the movie.
Mr. Bucket, the ants
balls
in the
pop
pants.
out of my mouth, Mr. Bucket.
Oh
Buckets
man,
of fun.
Hungry Hippos.
Ooh, Hungry Hippos.
Hungry Hippos would be a good like disaster creature movie.
Oh
like Rampage was or whatnot, where it's just like four.
We've got to guide the hippos away from the city.
The rocket star in that.
Yeah.
Hungry Hippos. I'm sure at least half of these someone has made parody like spoof trailer versions of serious things like this. Hungry Hippos. No, I'm going with Operation. I think that one makes me laugh. Just imagining like hotshot surgeons
Okay.
having like ridiculous. And it's room for plenty of comedic cameos. A little bit of children's hospital-esque, I suppose.
I keep thinking Scrubs, but narrowing it down specifically just to the Todd.
To the Todd. Yeah. Totally. Oh my God. So let's just Scrabble or die. Scrabble or die. I mean, Kill Dr. Lucky, which was the first one you said, and Betrayal of House on the Hill, I think elicit plenty. Like you can do plenty of those.
I know there's plenty of other contemporary board games that I could definitely make all kinds of movies out of. We recently completed one, Burgle Bros. Burgle Bros would make a really fun.
It's very
movie.
Ocean's 11-esque.
Yeah,
there's plenty of like cool. I love that game. I recommend that game to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I see someone like, hey, what's a cool tabletop game that's not standard? Like, Burgle Bros. Jenga. Is there a Jenga like?
Could we make a Jenga movie?
Jenga or die.
Too derivative of Scrabble or die.
It sounds like Scrabble or die. We don't really talk about Mousetrap. Like,
you know what? I never actually played Mousetrap. We owned it, and I would just assemble the Rube Goldberg machine and do it, and then the net basket thing would fall. And it was always anticlimactic. My favorite part was always when it had to go through the tube and then hit the planks to make enough to get the guy to go into the bucket. After the diver was put into the barrel,
you were out.
I didn't care.
I didn't care anymore.
That was the best part.
That was it. I think the Monopoly idea is probably the most fleshed out. Like we could certainly sit and turn it into sort of a light drama, like with some like it's a sweet film. It sounds like that's what it would be.
Yeah,
it has a good message in the end and a happy ending. But I think the more fun ones are something like A Ticket to Ride, like an insane globe trotting around the world in 80 days around the world on 80 trains.
Race around the world. Right, like Train Race, the movie.
Family. Oh man, is that what the Fast and Furious franchise is going towards? We can have period piece franchise Fast and the Furious. They're racing trains. They're racing horses.
Oh my God!
They're racing boats.
I want to make that.
Fast and the Furious, Fast and the Furious, Fast and the Furious,
so
Fast and the Furious. All right. Well,
Train's version of Dom Toretto.
Oh my God! Family, La Familia.
Yeah.
Just leading a Spanish armada of like different ships
literally
with different paint.
Jumping a train from one set of tracks to another set of tracks.
Oh boy! All right. Well, I think we've exhausted our fun right now.
What would drifting a train be called?
How would you? He's able to. No. Okay.
The train would go off the tracks.
No.
To drift.
Yeah. If you have to get to a point where there's two rails next to each other, like two different sets of rails, and you can jump the back end of the train onto the second rail while the front side of the train is still on the first rail, and it's going, and then there's a turn coming up. You got to get one side to the other.
You know what? I remember they didn't do a whole movie about it, but Fast and Furious did have a train opener.
Yeah, they did. They stole the cars from the train.
From the train.
Why are we talking?
Never mind.
Been done. Forget it.
Back to operation.
Back to operation. Top Gun, but with surgeons.
Scrabble or die.
Scrabble or die. All right, Wes. What do you think? What did we?
Let us know which of those.
How do we do? This was a weird episode.
It was.
We started out weird.
We were not super focused. Dairy Queen.
I felt like I laughed too much in this episode, which my favorite listener is still the one who rage listens to me
on a whole different podcast,
calling me a chuckle fuck on Twitter.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You see, it's funny because those syllables rhyme.
I know. That's good. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. And that I dropped an F-bomb in an episode. There we go.
You did.
Whatever. It's cool. We get one. All right, come on, folks. Let's wrap it up here. I think we're gonna call this for this episode. We'd love to know if we did meet your demand, Wes. If we did take a classic board game or a classic game and turn it into a movie. If there's at least one premise here that clicked with you. We certainly didn't flesh this out into a full episode because this is one of our clip show episodes or
a little bit, yeah.
Our popcorn episodes,
yeah,
where we bounce around a lot. My favorite popcorn episode. Nick Fury and the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. are dead because it wasn't supposed to be that, but Jim was like, no, Great Lakes Avengers, it's happening.
Yeah. This, so I didn't bring up Settlers of Catan because if Ticket to Ride's a classic game, so is Settlers of Catan. There is a very fun pitch for or like short script for a Settlers of Catan movie. It's not real. It's one of those like a
College
robot
humor.
road or something.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I recommend finding that and
out.
reading that.
All right.
It's from the point of view of people who live in the world of Catan, and they're like, "Why are we building this road to nowhere?" And they're like, "It is what the gods demand," and it's quite humorous.
That's very funny. That's amazing. It's just like an essay or whatever, like online.
It basically like a script. Someone wrote it as if it's a movie script, and I think it's like 5 pages long or something.
That's great. So hit us up, Wes, and actually anyone who listened today. If we did start honing in on an idea that you're like, yes, do that. If there was any point in this where you were either shouting at us to stop talking about ice cream or shouting at us to say, yes, you're onto something there, we'd love to hear it. So you can message us directly at studiodemandsit.com where you can submit your demand. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Studio Demands It. And if you're not already, please subscribe to us on any of your preferred pod forms or podcatchers. And if you feel like giving us a little review, you can do so in the Apple Podcast app, and it really helps us out with the algorithm. Like I said, we've been getting some nice reviews from folks. So thank you for those who have taken the 30 seconds it takes to do that. It's so easy, right, Jim?
So easy.
You haven't done it. Oh, I just shamed you. I'm so sorry. Yeah. You can find me at TC's Big Head.
That feels like liking your own posts on Facebook. I just can't do that.
I get it.
There are people who do that, and you're fine, beautiful people for liking your own posts. I can't do that. I can't like my own posts.
I will like my own posts to bump it up on people's news feeds.
Yeah.
Like if I've gotten some likes on this, I'm going to like it so it gets back on the so selfish. You can get me at TC's Big Head on Twitter or Instagram. You can also find Jim that way for now.
Yeah.
Tupac Waxon has been retired.
It has.
Yeah.
Mostly because I couldn't get it to work right.
Thank you so much to 6.5 Media for giving us this platform. Seriously, 6.5 has expanded so much in the past year. There's a ton of new shows and new contents on the platform. Seek them out. If you go to studiodemands.com, down near the bottom, you'll see a bunch of the other shows you can seek out. Great feedback on Max from Top Hat Balloon. Guested on the Deep Space Nine episode of Studio Demands.
Awesome.
Some fun responses from some new listeners in that regard.
Excellent.
So thank you for following us over here. That's it for this episode. Jim, any final thoughts on board game movies?
Mr. T, the board game, the movie. It's about a bunch of characters who have to do all of Mr. T's chores before he gets back for the day and is mad that you didn't finish his chores.
Does he pity you?
Yes.
Every one of you fools. All right. There you go. There's your game. All right. We'll be back again to challenge, take on a demand and challenge to improve the world of cinema. I am TC.
Mall Madness.
Mall Madness?
Yeah. It'd basically be like a...
oh my God, I remember Mall Madness.
Yeah, it'd be what's the shopping challenges? Grab as much stuff as you can before the timer runs out.
The supermarket sweep.
But like in a mall and make a
with zombies.
movie out of it.
With zombies.
No, that's all. Well, I mean, you that's Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
If you do it with a robot, that's Chopping Mall.
Chopping Mall.
You like
Scattergories the movie.
People going insane with shopping obsession.
So, yeah, they have affluenza.
It's Black Friday.
That's the name of the
Black
movie.
Friday, and the character needs to buy a bunch of stuff.
You have $1 million. You have to spend it before the mall closes or the mall blows up.
Oh, God. Oh, the stakes went real high real fast.
It was going to be you, but then I realized, no, we're taking the whole mall out. There we go.
Speed the mall.
Speed the mall. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's speed but it's a mall.
Yeah.
Whoa. Mall madness. All right?
And what's the game where you find your dream date? Dream date. It's Dream Date the movie.
It's well, you could use Tinder, right? And it's just like, no. It's Dream Date the movie, but it's Tinder, right? And it's like you electronify it, right?
Yeah.
Electronify it.
Electronify.
Yeah.
That's the future term.
And instead of like swiping, the girl just gives up and says, "You know what? Phone, just tell me who my next date is."
You are seeing Roderick at McDonald's.
Actually, that's perfect because the name you chose was not understandable. So she would show up Onderick? Is there an Onderick here?
I'm Onderick.
Oh God, it was accurate.
Yes, it was. I hope you like Big Macs.
So dreamy.
I'm your dream date.
All right.